So it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Hey everybody, good morning. Sorry. It is a beautiful day. I had to come outside for this one. And boom, checked it off. Day 8 completed in the bread challenge yesterday. And 66-day challenge for me. Sometimes you might hear a couple of those people shuffling. I'll get into that later. And that being said, today we are moving into the second law of behavior change, still part of that habit loop, which is make it attractive. So in Atomic Habits, James Clear goes into a study that compares nature to making it attractive for habit generation, and he goes into talking about herring galls, where the baby herring galls in the nest, when the mom comes over to feed them, the herring galls that have the bigger red dots on their beak end up getting a better response from the baby. So they made a model of a beak and put a red dot on it, and thinking the birds wouldn't respond, they put it over there, but sure enough, because of the red dot, the birds responded. And they started making the circle bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden came up with the perfect beak, which had 3 red dots on it, and the chicks went nuts, right? Like the little baby birds went crazy and were pecking all over this beak to try to get that mom to feed. Obviously, the red dots were attractive to the birds. So he also had another example of a gray lag goose that liked big round objects, and if a baby bird rolled out of the nest, the round baby bird would get rolled back in by the mom. So they said, let's try some other round objects, and sure enough, the same thing. The larger the object, the easier it was to get the bird to respond and try to roll it back into the nest. So humans, we've got our junk food, right? Thousands of years of foraging and hunting and gathering for food. We've really developed a hankering for sweets and calorie-dense foods, salty, fatty. Our body yearns for those, and as a result, when we have easy access to it, we often will overeat them. So this is what they call supernormal stimuli. The modern food industry, builds on this. They literally build food to stimulate the supernormal part of our brain into craving the foods that they're making. That's why you get crazy sweet and salty combos, right? That just don't exist in nature. They make those in order to make it more attractive to us and cause us to want to go back. Well, that's not the only place that society is filled with these supernormal stimuli. You'll see it in, supermodels, even just mannequin models, right? Exaggerated curves. We get an exaggerated sense of worth when we get likes on social media. When you play video games and have instant successes versus longer drawn out board games, or just living life, right? Like video games and likes on social media, alcohol versus water, or even beer, right? Like high calorie, dopamine causing items, right? So that's a chemical that's released in your brain when you do something good. And so likes on social media give you a dopamine kick. Notifications, even in emails, give you a dopamine kick. Alcohol gives a dopamine kick. It's no wonder that our bodies and our minds are drawn to these items. So if you want to increase your odds of making sure that your behavior sticks and making sure that you get to the point of turning it into a habit, then you need to make it more attractive. That's why for people that love check marks and checklists, this is awesome to print out, right? Because if you have the calendar printed, or if you have it drawn out, then you can go in and make a big X. You get to see the success. Other people that see your calendar can see the success, which is part of the good reason for accountability. You don't want to let people down. You want them to know that you're achieving. And so you post your picture, or you check it off on the Google Sheet, or you tell your accountability partner that you were successful, and they give you a yay, right? Make it more attractive. That's part of the reason that we're doing it this way. Another thing that you can do to use that temptation is join a group. That's, again, another reason we're here. We have this group. You can do like Mandy mentioned on her comment yesterday, that she joined a 6 a.m. group because that 6 a.m. is her behavior that she's hoping to instill. So she actually has a group that she gets on with at 6 a.m. in order to encourage her and support her in that goal. That's awesome. So one other piece that you can do, we talked about this a little bit last week, go into it a little bit more, is that habit stacking, right? So if you already have something that you're doing, you can take your new behavior and mix it in. So we talked a little bit about those intentional phrases last week, and we're going to end with this intentional phrase this week. So it's a twofold now, though. It's double dipping into this phrase, right? So let's say you like to play Candy Crush or check social media on your lunch break. So after I eat lunch, I will play Candy Crush. That's the normal one right now, right? So I eat my lunch, I play Candy Crush. And we can change that to, after I eat lunch, I will call 3 clients. After I call 3 clients, I will play Candy Crush. Do you see that? So now we're taking the new behavior, we're sticking it into the middle of a current behavior and habit that we have that we love to do. And as a result, your brain knows that once it calls those 3 clients, it gets that dopamine rush that it's looking for, because it's looking for that in the Candy Crush. And so it can find that in calling 3 clients by taking that behavior and sticking it into the middle, right? So maybe it's checking the box scores or something to that effect, right? So same kind of thing. It's after I shower in the morning, right? I will drink a full glass of water. After I drink a full glass of water, I will check the night before's sports scores. Boom. So that's a little bit more on habit stacking, a little bit more on making it attractive, a little bit more on making that temptation and that dopamine rush work for you. Hopefully that's helpful. And thank you all very much. We'll talk to you tomorrow.